This is what I'm using, recommended by Mr. Pete. I didn't get it at Kroger. I got it at Walmart. They didn't have it at Kroger. And like you said, it does. I have had this for a while, and it gets really, really clumpy. I don't know why. It must absorb moisture out of the air. But this is what I'm going to add to my solution when I get ready to do that. I'll probably pre-dissolve it in some warm or hot water. So that way, because again, this is clumpy. So I think I'm going to do 1 cup of that to 5 gallons of water. We'll see how that works. But let me get on to mixing the solution up. All right, here's a view of my setup. I got some rebar, a couple of them. Hopefully they're clean enough. There's the vise, and the fixed jaw and the movable jaw are behind it. It's in a 5-gallon bucket. I've pre-diluted the solution so it will mix into the water easier. So I'm going to start filling this up, and I'll bring you back on when I get it filled up and get ready to connect the battery charger, and we'll see what starts to happen. All right. All right, here it is, all filled up. Sorry for the glare. But getting ready to hook up the battery charger. Everything's plugged in. Again, be careful around water and electricity. The positive is going to go to the anodes, and the negative cable is going to go to the vise and the other pieces that need to be cleaned up. So, without further ado, let's hook it up and see what happens. All right, it's only been about 5 or 6 minutes, but you can see it's really bubbling. Looks like there's a lot of action by my grounding rods or my anode rods. I don't know if that's normal. It's the first time I've done this. I see bubbles near the vise body coming off all the edges and everything, so I guess we're just going to leave it go and check in on it periodically. Hopefully this will do its job, and a little bit of cleanup, maybe with some Scotch-Brite on all those pieces, and I have a decent looking tool. All right. Till I check in later.
24 hours later.
All right, here's the action from the electrolysis experiment on the Kurt Klone vise. Looks like a lot of it's slowed down. There's still some bubbling in there. Not a whole lot, but you can see the scum on the top. I went ahead and added some more thin plates that I had from a HVAC project. So I think we're gonna pull a piece out and see what happens. See how it all came out. The battery charger is pretty much done doing what it's doing. So let me go ahead and get this pulled out of here. I'll get it set up so we can take a look at it and see the outcome. All right, here's a quick look at the anodes. The rebar don't look like they're really crusty. I mean, they're rusty from the color that you normally get them from the home center. You can see these plates. they picked up a lot, so that might have been a better option. I do have more of that material around. So, alright, I'll keep working at this stuff. Alright, here's the vise pieces straight out. Wherever the rust was at, it's turned black. I haven't tried to remove any of it. Hopefully it'll come off. So, let me get you set up on a tripod, and we'll see how this comes off with a little bit of warm water and some Scotch-Brite. Maybe some emery. Alright, I'll get you turned back on in a minute. Alright, I got a little bit of soapy water. We're going to give this a scrub and see what happens.
Out of nothing more than a little can-do attitude and some elbow grease.
Alright, I got some red Scotch-Brite and some 80 grit wet dry. I don't know what'll work better. And then you come back to the old question, I guess, of if you're going to use anything on it to get it off, was it worthwhile? I guess when I get this completely cleaned up, then we'll be able to make that determination. So. So, it don't look too bad. You know, like I said, just going for something functional here. Not going for a museum project. So that looks pretty decent. So let me just towel dry this off and then get it out of the way and keep going. Well, it appears that my camera died, so I have to review the footage to see whether I got all those areas, but you can see I haven't done this side yet, and you can see how the rust is. So that completes all of the items that were soaking overnight in the electrolysis solution, which was simply the Arm & Hammer superwashing soda that everyone recommends. I would say, I guess I patterned this more after Mr. Pete's video. He's pretty thorough, so I'm sure you've heard of him. If you're watching my videos, I'm sure you've seen his videos. So, all right, that's this, and still have to go through and sand these a little bit better, get them cleaned up, get all the burrs off of there, run a tap through the holes. I don't know if I'll show all that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. Okie doke. Anyhow, this is the bottom of the vise. This is an old surface grinding wheel. I knocked out the center, pulled the paper off. What I've used this for, and I've had this and used it for this purpose for a long time, 20 years more. When you're assembling big castings, you need to make sure the surface is clean. So you could use a little stone and it'd take forever, or you could use this, which is an 8-inch wheel, and probably a 7-inch wheel. But anyhow, you see it covers up the surface really well. So all you did was just take it, spin it every once in a while. You see the surface it gives you. Nice surface. And this looks like it was originally a plain surface by the lines that you have here. So that's older technology yet. I mean, I think most of these probably done now are just done with a big shell mill and a CNC machine. This probably is 1965 if they planed it off with a big planer. But that's good for that side. It's my custom marble top. And then you just do the same thing to this side. You can hear the sound change, and this doesn't scratch it up like you might think it's scratching it up. It's not. And because it's so big, it's getting a nice good balance off of this whole surface. But I would say that right there is probably good. You can see where I had a lot of the rust at. Once we get the movable jaw good, we'll set it on here and we'll see how it fits, if it's stable or if it rocks a little bit. Here's all the pieces cleaned up. Everything looks pretty decent. A little bit of rust left in these corners, some down in here. I don't know if I got any paint around here. I'll have to check and see. I'm not going to worry about these. But like the thing is grab this tape. Measures 5, but otherwise it's 5. Hole spacing is 3 1/8, somewhere around there, 3 1/8. You know, you got, I would say it's probably a 5, because when you add in the jaws, once I get the jaws, which I do not have, it'll take it down to a 5. So it's 5 wide with a 5-inch opening. And then here's the numbers that are on the back. 510-9816, 65 stamped, Japan. All the fasteners have been English so far. All the tapped holes are English tapped holes. So, I mean, going back to 65, was Japan using English if they were selling items to the United States? I don't know. If anybody's got any information on this vise, because there's no nameplates, there's no nothing. Here's a number that's on the movable jaw. I don't think there's any markings whatsoever on the... No. So that would be interesting. I'm going to keep going on this project. Hopefully somebody knows some information on it. That would be great. Leave it in the comments.